television that's close to home. Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Starting off the show today, we have a developing story in West Bloomfield. A body was found floating on Pine Lake Wednesday evening. The Oakland County Sheriff's search and rescue team arrived on the scene on Pine Lake Road just after 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday night after wakeboarders found the man floating alone on the water and called 911. This is what we know right now, per the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. The victim is a black male around 6 feet tall and 140 pounds, and he was wearing a white t-shirt, black jogging pants, and size 10 Adidas shoes, per a press release from Sheriff Michael Bouchard. As of this morning, the body remains unidentified, and the Oakland County Sheriff's Office is seeking any information that may be useful in identifying the man. With no reports of missing persons in the area, all information is critical. If you have any tips that may help identify this man, please call 248-858-4950. Once again, that number is 248-858-4950 if you have any tips or information. At this time, there is no indication that what happened on Pine Lake was a drowning. However, this comes after a recent interview we had on the Splash Live where we discussed the importance of water safety with Lieutenant Brian Burwell of the Oakland County Technical Support Group after recent drownings occurred in both White Lake and in Springfield Township. Here's our interview with Lieutenant Burwell.
Thanks for being here, Lieutenant.
Good. How are you, bud?
Doing just fine myself. Unfortunately, talking about some unfortunate news, I should say, but it's something that we should cover. Ultimately, I know we talked about this multiple times, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but some of these things must be reiterated. So with that being said, so many lakes in Oakland County, what unique challenges do you see residents facing around water safety?
You know, anytime, I think one of the biggest challenges we're faced right now is the cuts to the Marine Safety Grant. And those grants affect education. And that's one of the things that the Sheriff's Office is pushing more of, is to get more education out there, motor safety and water safety classes. So, at the Sheriff's Office, we do offer one class a month for boating safety, hunting safety, other marine safety courses. But we're really pushing more boating education, boating safety. And that's a challenge for the Sheriff's Office because we have lost a lot of funding from that Marine Safety Grant due to recent cuts from the state and federal levels. But I think anytime you're around water, the dangers present themselves. And, like we've talked about so many times before, that drowning is really a silent type of death. So, oftentimes people find themselves in trouble in the water and people around them do not know. That's why we always encourage people to swim in a designated swim area. We always encourage people to swim where lifeguards are present. And certainly if you have any type of young children in the water, put those cell phones down in the water.
No, that's a really good point. And anytime we hear about a drowning, like I said, it's devastating to our community, and we hate to hear about it. And even hearing from higher ups and seeing news of celebrities like Malcolm Jamal Warner recently passing away on a vacation with his family through a drowning in Costa Rica, it just gives us, a note that we really need to be paying attention and be a little bit more aware. Now, despite repeated warnings, many still skip wearing life jackets. So what new strategies, if any, or partnerships is the sheriff's office exploring to make wearing these jackets a little bit more sexy?
Well, and one of the things that we're always pushing with life jackets is the importance of them. And, sometimes like with rescue equipment and safety equipment, it's kind of like the spare tire in the car. People are just not thinking about that spare tire in the car until something happens and they need it. About raising awareness, and that's one of the things I'm gonna go back to a lot is this, these cuts in marine funding and how it affects our marine safety grant and the programs we like to teach here at the sheriff's office that explain why life jackets are important, and understanding people that they're in the right life jackets, they're properly sized, and they understand why they need to wear those life jackets. And I mean, so many of these tragedies are so avoidable, and often that like a seatbelt in a car, the life jackets don't work if you don't wear them. So you got to wear those life jackets, and even having those throwable devices handy on a boat. Boaters, they go out on the lake, it's going to be a great day. And again, we want people to come out on all our waterways and enjoy the activities on the lakes. But people keep those life jackets buried in a cabinet or a cupboard. They don't have easy access to life jackets. They don't have easy access to a throwable device. And then somebody gets in trouble in the water, and hey, where is that life jacket at? Well, it's in a bag which is zipped up and
tucked in somewhere and locked. Yeah.
And it's those are those things that 5 seconds before going out on the boat, taking some time to make sure all your stuff's in good working order. Stuff gets wet on a boat, so you get maybe some mildew, and you haven't looked at device and maybe since last season, and now the straps are worn or there's a rip in it, and compromise that float integrity is going to be compromised when there's rips in life jackets and things like that.
No, that's a solid point, because we only have so many months throughout the year that we can get on a boat. Other than that, the boat and everything is put up. So it will make sense to go back and revisit that. And not to be insensitive, just to go back, when I mention the word sexy, I'm only saying that in the sense that a lot of people just don't see it as a cool thing to do, to wear a life jacket when you're out on a boat having a good time or drinking or whatever the case may be. But like we said, it may not be the most appealing thing, but it's still something that we need to be doing. When with me right here live on The Splash from Oakland County Technical Support Group Specialized Units Patrol Services Division, we have Lieutenant Brian Burwell talking about some of the unfortunate recent drownings here in Oakland County and just giving out more tips and practices for water safety. Now, let's go back to what you were talking about in regards to checking some of that equipment. Do you have any advice for families to check watercraft equipment or even safety gear before heading out to the water? Are there any inspection events, checklists that you would recommend?
100%. And we talk about this again in that boater safety program, which is why we encourage so many people to take those courses. But right at the start of that boating season, we always tell residents, hey, take 5-10 minutes, open up all the cabinets, all the storage compartments on your boat, pull everything out. Take a good look at the beginning of the season. Certainly, if you have any questions, you can call the sheriff's office, and we can help guide people through that. But you take a good look at them, your safety equipment, and make sure everything is in good working order. The fire extinguisher's charged, you have a good first aid kit on board, you have a signaling device, the horn works in the boat. Those little things, when an emergency occurs on the lake, you're going to be way better prepared for it. We talk about life jackets, and you say, people don't like wearing them. Well, if you're jumping off the side of a boat and you're in 80 feet of water and you can't touch the bottom, it's probably a good time to put that life jacket on. If you're in a swim area that's designated and you're in knee-deep water, you may not be wearing a life jacket at that point if you're not a small child. So I think it's exercising that judgment, but understanding that, man, I'm in deep water here. If there was to be an emergency, a medical issue, things like that happen. And also knowing what to do in an emergency. Where am I at on the lake?
Good point.
Having access to a cell phone. The other important thing too is having a last seen marker where if something did happen to somebody in the water, you can drop a marker down real quick. That'll mark that spot. These are only a few dollars at any boating store, but so important because boats do drift. So when somebody does go under, we know exactly where to start that search because every second counts when you're talking about trying to rescue someone and save a life. So
100% agree. And that's why you have the experience, you have the expertise, and that's why you were hit on so many different perspectives that we may not even be able to recognize here. We got to let you go, Lieutenant. But lastly, if I'm not mistaken, alcohol may have been a factor in one of these drownings as well. It's the summertime, people are on boats, they're having great fun, they're enjoying themselves. So alcohol could be involved in some time. Is there any advice, tips that you would give to boaters or people out in the water who are engaging in alcohol as well?
Just be aware that it's going to affect you differently on a boat than on land. People don't understand when you're on the water, the sun is beating down on you, you're consuming more alcohol than you probably would if you were on land. And just understanding moderation, that if something happens out here in an emergency situation, you're able, one, to handle it. And again, always encouraging people, take first aid, CPR classes. And that way, if you do find yourself in that situation, you know what to do. But a lot of these incidents center around alcohol being a factor in these boating accidents, especially fatality accidents. And just asking people to drink in moderation. Certainly go out and enjoy the water, have a great time, but just understanding that, maybe be aware of the fact that boat's moving, that motion, elements are on you, and drinking in moderation.
Yeah,
be responsible.
No, well said, well said. And once again, our hearts and our thoughts go out to the families of these victims as well. And we just want to put this message out so anyone else watching or listening can be proactive as they go out on the water. We want to thank you again for your time and your information once again from Oakland County Technical Support Group, Specialized Units Patrol Services Division, Lieutenant Brian Burwell. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A big thank you to our own Kevin McIntosh and for Lieutenant Brian Burwell for sharing this very, very important information that's more important right now than ever. If you're just joining us right now on the Splash Live, there's a developing story in West Bloomfield. A body was discovered on Pine Lake Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. The body has not been identified at this time. However, per the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, it has been described as a black male around 6 feet tall and 140 pounds, was wearing a white T-shirt, black jogging pants, and size 10 Adidas shoes. Any and all information about this person is crucial. You can call the number on your screen right now, 248-858-4950, if you have any information and any tips to help identify this individual. Once again, that number is 248-858-4950. We're going to take a break right here on the Splash Live, jump into some more stories and more news from the Greater West Bloomfield community right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
Floodwaters can rise fast. Take precautions to stay safe. Follow the instructions of local officials and all emergency notifications. If authorities say evacuate, don't wait. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Just 1 foot of water can sweep away a vehicle. Never drive around barricades. You don't know what danger may be on the other side. For more tips on how to protect your family, visit ready.gov/floods.
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Yesterday, the West Bloomfield community took some time to celebrate and honor some of the change makers who've made a dramatic impact in the past year. The Key to the Township Awards took place yesterday at the Wabi Country Club, and several big names in West Bloomfield got the recognition that they deserved. I was there to hear from some of the award winners and some of the other West Bloomfield officials to hear what they had to say about this year's event.
Well, it's a great honor to be among leaders, business leaders, and community leaders who make a big difference in the lives of many residents in the Greater West Bloomfield Township. There's no community that thrives without commerce. And that's why it's important that we recognize business leaders who not only succeed in business in their communities, but they also give back to the community that they do business at. And those individuals who are being honored today, they fit that description. They're successful at what they do, and they also give back to the community.
What is it like to be here today and being recognized here at the Key to the Township Awards?
Man, it's a little overwhelming in the best way possible, of course, but it's exciting just to see the community come together to celebrate. You know, we stay busy throughout the year, and taking that time out to just be together to celebrate the wins from the year is really very special, I think.
I'm so grateful for this. I never thought in a million years that I would be getting honored and getting an award for something that is truly my passion. It's an awesome feeling. I'm here with my husband and my son, and you know, my son's watching all this and he's seeing it all unravel, and he sees that anything you put your mind to, no matter what, you can actually achieve it. So he's definitely seeing that.
I'm really honored and really happy about this reward today. I feel entitled, and it's an honor for me to share that prize with the people I love and the people I serve. It's an honor for me to be here with this beautiful audience. I hope that will be something that will be going on and on every year.
It's really exciting to honor these great individuals. There's so many that we could honor, and hopefully every year we will repeat this. But I think the most important thing to remember is that anyone can be a local hero. Anyone can help our community survive. Anyone can help us support it, because really small businesses especially are the backbone of our country, and anything we can do to keep them in business is really a great thing for our West Bloomfield Township area.
I feel like everybody should take away the knowledge that it's important to be a part of a community. It's important to give to that community. It's important to participate in that community. It's important to go to the business restaurants, whatever, if they have online services. It's important to honor the people that are in your community doing the business and providing the services. So hopefully people attending this event will understand how important it is to support one another and to shout it out to the broader community.
These change makers do so much incredible work for Greater West Bloomfield every single day, and it was amazing to see them get the recognition that they deserved. A big congratulations to all of the award winners, and a big thank you to the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce for putting on this incredible event. West Bloomfield Police briefly closed Walnut Lake Road at Drake Road on Wednesday night after severe rainfall caused an overflow of water into the roadway. These situations, of course, can lead to severely dangerous conditions for motorists, including immobilizing vehicles. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, is also sounding the alarm on flooding after massive rains throughout the country this summer. Here is some of their advice to keep you safe in the event of a flood.
Floodwaters can rise fast. Take precautions to stay safe. Follow the instructions of local officials and all emergency notifications. If authorities say evacuate, don't wait. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Just 1 foot of water can sweep away a vehicle. Never drive around barricades. You don't know what danger may be on the other side. For more tips on how to protect your family, visit ready.gov/floods.
For more information on flooding and other disaster preparation, you can head to FEMA.gov. You can also join Nixle, that's NIXLE, for local emergency updates in your zip code from the West Bloomfield Police and Fire Departments on Nixle.com. Everyone is still reeling from the fun and excitement of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, where several incredible and unique artists visited West Bloomfield to showcase their artistry and their talent. Tyler Kieft and I were out at this year's show meeting several amazing artists, including one who found some incredible uses for some old musical instruments. Tyler Kieft has the story.
Here at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, all throughout the weekend, very talented musicians will be performing, but one particular booth allows you to take the music home with you. Joining me is Tim Bose, joining us from Instrumental Music Audio. And Tim, you got very unique pieces here that not only are great visual art for anybody's home or office, but also help them enjoy a little bit of ambiance as well.
Yeah, so these are all acoustic speakers, and it allows people to just hit play on their phone, drop their phone right in there, and be able to listen to music. It gives a kind of a vintage feel because it's working on the same principle as those old gramophone bells and such. And so the sound just goes in and then right out through the bell, amplifying the sound. And these are all old band instruments from band programs in the Midwest, and there's a music shop that actually trades in old unused band instruments from all these programs and gives them brand new ones that they're actually going to be able to use. And so it's a great way to recycle some of these old instruments that are not going to make another sound, but through this they're able to continue to play music.
So in this case, I'm curious, when you got something like a trumpet here, or you got other brass instruments, when you put your phone into this socket here and you're playing the music, does it then use the instrument itself as the speaker, or is the wood the speaker?
Yeah, so the bell shape is actually what helps amplify that sound. Just like tubas have really large bells and really big sounds and such, trumpets are going to be a little more narrow, just kind of in their normal characteristic sound. So.
And then how did you get into this? I've seen these sorts of speakers be made in the past with other materials like plastic or be 3D printed, but this is really a unique take on this. It's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm actually a band director up in the Flint area, and so every band program has these instruments sitting in corners, and so this is a way for these instruments to continue to be played. But as far as actually getting started, my brother got started 14 years ago now, doing the exact same thing. He's been doing different trade shows and things for a long time, art shows, and he's based in another state, and he said, I'm not really coming to Michigan anymore, and since I already have a love for these instruments as a band director, I wanted to keep that going in Michigan.
And it's really cool how these turn out, but the process is often what interests so many people when they come out to an art show like this. So you mentioned you get these instruments from band programs that at the point where they're being recycled, but how do you end up putting these pieces together? What's the process of that like?
Yeah, so since a lot of these are repurposed, they're in somewhat incomplete states, and so if I can find one like this trumpet here where it's mostly intact, there's not too much wrong with it, then I'm able to use the full instrument. So like these French horns are very sculptural, and getting to see a lot of that instrument. Sometimes they're pretty beat up or they're missing valves and things like that, and so then I can only use the bell, and so a lot of trombones and trumpets are going to be like that. So still getting to play music even though they're pretty dilapidated state.
And these are great speakers and with excellent craftsmanship going into them. And ultimately, you got a wide variety of prices from under $50 to over $100 and really great designs all in the process and helping band programs recycle instruments all throughout the state of Michigan. Tim Bose with me from Burton, Michigan, out here at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Tim, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
More information on the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show on hotworks.org, and stay with us on our social media for videos from all across the art show all weekend long.
Appreciate Tyler for the intro, and this is why I love the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show so much. You always see something that you never would have thought of before or you've never seen before, and what you just saw right there with Tim was truly amazing. Big thank you to him for taking the time to talk with us here on the Splash Live at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. On August 14th, the Apple Island Kayak Adventure will be taking place from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Orchard Lake. Participants will be kayaking to Apple Island, which is owned by the West Bloomfield School District, for a guided nature hike. This event is all done in partnership with West Bloomfield Parks and the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Lauren Azuri, park naturalist for West Bloomfield Park, joined us earlier on the Splash Live to tell us all about it. Lauren, great to have you with us today.
Hi, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Love hearing about these great activities that take place all throughout the summer. What inspired West Bloomfield Parks to organize the Apple Island Kayak Adventure?
Something we're very excited for, but definitely can't take full credit for. It's a big community collaboration. So we have to give credit to West Bloomfield Historical Society's amazing and passionate volunteers. They're always excited to share Apple Island, but of course it's an island. So it's hard to share an island with others when it's hard to get to it. So we kind of figured out this kayaking idea. And of course it's also in partnership with the West Bloomfield School District, as they own the island, and we had to work together to make sure that we were able to allow people to come to the island, because normally it's a private island and you can't go to it without a scheduled activity. So it's really a great community collaboration, and it all started with a volunteer at Apple Island Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society who wanted to share the lake and the island with people in our community.
Awesome. And yeah, all the stuff I've been hearing about this island, it is very rare for people to actually stop by the island. So any chance that people are able to check it out is incredible. What can participants expect during the guided hike?
Yeah, so it'll be a guided kayak to there. We'll talk about some of the water features. Orchard Lake is a glacial lake, so it is unique and in that type of geological feature. So we'll talk about the geology of the lake and the island together and how they partner. It is very unique to have an island that large on a lake this large and still have it this many years later. So we'll talk about the uniqueness of the geology. But once we get to the island, as a naturalist, what I'm really excited to share with people is just the lush understory. So when you hike in a lot of our trails here, the deer like to feast, and they feast on a lot of our understory, all the wildflowers and small, lower growth plants. So what I really noticed when I went to Apple Island and I was fortunate enough to get a tour was that it is just very lush. There is so much to look at and lots growing there because of the features of an island.
That's right. All incredible features over at Apple Island. You can see photos right now if you're watching on Civic Center TV right now. Now, it is important to note that the signups for this kayak trip have since closed. Signups are full, so everyone who is planning to go is set to go. But I understand that in order to be eligible to go on this trip, you needed like a good knowledge of kayaking experience in order to go on this trip. Is that correct?
Yeah, so most of our programs at West Bloomfield Parks are geared towards those who might not have tried something in the outdoors before. So we offer snowshoe rentals with instruction. We do offer kayak instruction and rentals together at our Cass Lake Marshbank Park location. But this adventure is just a little bit different. So we do require that if you were to register and join with us, that you had your own boat to come. And usually if you have your own boat, you have a little bit of kayaking experience already at that point. So it is for adults, and it is for those that have a kayak and have paddled before, just because of the uniqueness of it. And Jake, you did mention that it's full and registered, but what's really neat is that it was so well received. This was kind of a trial program. We've never offered it before, and it sold out so fast. So we're hoping that if all the details go as we plan them to go, and that it's as great as we are hoping it to be, that we will continue to offer it next summer as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure everyone in Greater West Bloomfield is going to love hearing about that, because I'm sure they're all going to be wanting to check out Apple Island themselves. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with park naturalist Lauren Azuri, who's talking about the Apple Island Kayak Adventure that's going to be taking place on August 14th in conjunction with West Bloomfield Parks and the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Now, Lauren, what is the ecological importance of Orchard Lake and Apple Island, and how would you say that's been incorporated into this event?
Yeah, so the partnership really works well because a lot of people know that the island has historical importance, right? There's indigenous information that's all about the island, which is wonderful to learn about. There's about the vacationing families and the homes that were built on the island. So there's a lot of history there, but history also goes right alongside with ecological history. So how the island has changed over time, how the island was formed. So definitely lots of ecological information and uniqueness of an island in a glacial lake. A glacial lake basically means that many years ago, it was formed from the top of a glacier tipping over and melting. So glacial lakes tend to have lots of drop-offs. They tend to be a little bit deeper, and they have these unique landforms as part of them, like an island.
Awesome. It sounds like there's a lot to take away from this experience, and it also sounds like there's going to be a lot of educational materials for participants to take away from this. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We always love when we sneak an adventure in with education. So we always try to sneak in education no matter what we do. This one, it's very obvious that people that are coming are interested in learning about the island, but any program we do with our nature education team is a unique adventure or an outdoor experience, but we always sneak in something to learn about. Because let's be honest, if you don't know about it or it's not important to you, you're not going to do anything to help it. And we know that Apple Island is always needing preservation. That's why the Historical Society and the school district partner together, and why the school district finds it so important to preserve the island and teach our students about it. Because if we don't learn about it, then there's no care there. So education is always important. So we do definitely hope that people walk away from the adventure, the kayak itself, and the hike with some fun fact that they're going to share and continue to educate and spread the word around our community.
Well, I absolutely hope that the community takes away those facts as well. And Lauren, you've touched on this a little bit, but how does this program align with the mission of connecting people with nature and the community?
Absolutely. So I think that anytime we try to decide on a program or what we want to do, does it fit our mission and vision? And the uniqueness of our community collaboration is that the school district, West Bloomfield School District, as well as the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and WB Parks, all have similar missions of education in the public in different forms or fashion. And so I think that the education of Apple Island really aligns well with the West Bloomfield Parks mission and vision of the nature of community.
I think so as well, and I can't wait for everyone to go on this incredible trip. Last question before we wrap things up, Lauren. You said that with the popularity of how quickly things have sold out for this event, that there's going to be possibly the opportunities for other Apple Island tours in the future. Would that maybe also open up more opportunities for other water-based adventures in the future?
Absolutely. So we currently have access to Cass Lake, which is a part of our Marshbank Park, and it's a great place to explore. But we love learning more about the watershed and in our community. So Orchard Lake isn't on our property and on West Bloomfield Park's property. So this is a unique opportunity that we hope we can expand on in the future. We do a lot of programming. Our family kayak is actually on August 13th, and there are some slots available for that. So if anyone is interested in joining us for a water adventure or learning how to kayak, this family kayak does come with a boat rental, so we provide all of the equipment that you need for it. And you can find all more information and register at wbparks.org. So there's always options to join us, but we do hope to offer more of these in the future since they have been proven to be so popular.
I think that family kayak trip is going to come in very, very handy, especially for people who want to gain a little bit more experience if they want to participate in something like this in the future. So I think that's amazing. Can't wait to see what's to come in the future. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today here in the Splash Live.
Thanks, Jake. I hope everyone gets out and enjoys nature, whether it's with us at this Apple Island Adventure or family kayak or just on your own this summer. But remember, when you're out there enjoying nature, to keep it clean and make sure to clean up after yourself.
The Apple Island Kayak Adventure, once again, is taking place on August 14th. Slots are full for this adventure, but there's the possibility for more kayak adventures in the future. So we really appreciate Lauren Azuri for stopping by here on the Splash Live and for telling us all this great information. A brand new tattoo shop is making its home in Kego Harbor. On August 1st, Orchard Tattoo Company will be opening its doors to the public and bringing customers inside with its vibrant designs and artistry. Joining us right now on the Splash Live is one of the co-owners of Orchard Tattoo Company, tattoo artist Quindell Mitchell. Quindell, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, how you guys doing? I appreciate the opportunity to actually showcase what we're doing here in Kego Harbor. So, thank you a lot.
Absolutely. This sounds like an incredible tattoo shop that's coming right here to the community. I'm just going to jump right into it. What inspired you to open Orchard Tattoo Company right here in Kego Harbor?
So actually, I'm one of 3 owners, and so we're actually a sister company of Dixie Tattoo in Waterford, which I've been a artist with since 2014. So we realized that we wanted to expand. We didn't quite know where we wanted to expand yet because we've been servicing the community for quite a bit. So we wanted to expand, and one of our apprentices had this as a tattoo shop prior to us moving in, and she moved to another location, and we just thought that this would be a prime location to expand our artistry.
Nice. Glad to hear about your journey and coming right here to Kego Harbor. What sets Orchard Tattoo Company apart from the other tattoo studios in the area?
Okay, so basically we're from, the area. One of the things is we get out and we get involved in community affairs. We get involved in the art affairs. We get involved in actually just being around people, So I think we more so, other than the art that we do, we more so project ourselves. So I think just the personality side of what we do is a thing, because like you said, there's so many tattoo shops around, right? But the difference is who tattoos you.
That's right, and personality plays such a big role in helping something to stand out. You can take a look on the screen right now on Civic Center TV, some of your tattoo designs, some of the things that might be available with Orchard Tattoo Company, but I think that's going to make a huge impact on the community, Quindell. And going into your artistry and the business's artistry, what kind of tattoo styles or specialties do you and the fellow artists focus on?
So primarily, we're a custom shop, So what we do is we create a lot of custom designs. When a person comes in, they ask, basically introduce a design to us, and we help them expand on that. Me personally, I do realism and traditional Japanese. Our artists like to be able to cover every particular style, just in case. So we can cover any style. However, we do like to do custom work.
Nice. Love hearing about that and love hearing about your creative process, Quindell. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Quindell Mitchell, one of the co-owners and tattoo artists at Orchard Tattoo Company, which is going to be making its grand opening in Kego Harbor on August 1st and August 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm curious, Quindell, what can people expect at this incredible grand opening event?
So they can expect to meet the staff. We're going to be doing a lot of meeting and greeting. We're also going to be booking future appointments. We'll have raffles. We're going to have cash prizes. Well, not so much the cash equivalent prize in the tattoo. Also, we're going to be giving discounted rates for certain tattoos over $200.
Nice. All great things that so many of your guests can take away and can utilize in the future with your business. And you talked about this just a little bit ago, but in terms of that personality that you're showcasing for the community, how do you plan to engage with the local Kego Harbor community going forward?
So if we're right next to the lodge, and the lodge does a lot of events. So we've been talking to their event coordinator. We want to team up with them and basically sponsor some of the events that the lodge actually has in the plans for the future. So a few different businesses in the community like that, we also want to, team up with them. I've been talking to Harley Davidson too, also, who's probably about like 5 minutes away. Motorcycles and tattoos go together.
You're absolutely right. Talk about a match made in heaven. That's going to create so much business and so many great features for the future, Quindell. What's your vision in the grand scheme of things? What's your vision for the future of the shop? Are there any long-term goals or creative plans for Orchard Tattoo Shop?
In fact, yeah, Orchard Tattoo Shop is a part of a bigger collective. Next year, 2026, we are hosting one of the first and the biggest of Oakland County's tattoo convention. So, there's a tattoo convention that's being hosted in Detroit and other parts of Michigan, but not in Oakland County. So Orchard Tattoo is a part of that collective. So that's one of the future things that we have going on.
Awesome. Love hearing about that. Such great plans for the future, and you're setting up roots right in Kego Harbor, Quindell. I love to hear about it. I got one more question before we let you go, and this is very important. I think a lot of people would love to hear this, especially myself. I do not have any tattoos. Okay. I know there's a lot of people who don't have any tattoos. What would you recommend to somebody who's looking to get a tattoo for the very first time?
The first thing is to research the artist. After you have a roundabout ideal of what you want to get, research the artist and make sure that artist fits, your expectations. And, spend some time with that artist. Talk to that artist, get to feel that person's personality, and then go forward from there.
Okay, very important information. I will certainly take that into consideration when the day comes, if I'm interested in getting a tattoo. And I'm sure everyone else watching who's interested as well will take that into consideration as well. Quindell, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, the Orchard Tattoo Company is opening up right in Kego Harbor. Their grand opening is going to be taking place tomorrow, August 1st, and Saturday, August 2nd. With summer underway, everybody is making sure to get out on the water. And here in Greater West Bloomfield, there's a school that can help kids and teens learn skills in an activity that's not really talked about as often, and that's sailing. The Community Sailing School in Orchard Lake offers fun and engaging sailing classes for kids and young adults. And just recently, officially became Michigan's first and only U.S. Sailing Accredited Community Sailing Center, one of just 45 in the entire nation. An incredible achievement. Community Sailing School Executive Director Eric Ellison recently joined us on The Splash Live to tell us all about the honor and what the school offers to the community.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Ellison.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate that. And congratulations, first and foremost, becoming Michigan's first and only sailing accredited community sailing center. Great accomplishment. What does that accreditation mean to you and your team?
So it's a standard of excellence in our career, in our realm, that shows that we're doing things to the highest level that is available. Mm-hmm. And U.S. Sailing has a very strict policies and curriculum they adhere to, that we had to go through a process to get this accreditation, which took us over about a year and a half to get through, because they're not just going to give it to everybody. But it's very special, and we knew we were doing a good job for our community and offering a good product and service, but we wanted to make sure that we could be recognized and know that we're doing everything correctly on a national standard as well.
Got you. And that speaks volumes, because I'm pretty sure there's well over 45 actual classes or sailing classes in the entire country. But like you said, being one of 45 that's accredited makes a difference. What do you feel like with that accreditation actually sets your sailing school apart from all the other accredited schools as well?
So I think even in our state, there's probably 50 or 60 different sailing schools. But for us to be able to be one of the only, or the only accredited one in the state is wonderful news to us. Mm-hmm. But also that we've been trying to strive to do things as the U.S. Sailing Standard, which is our national governing body. So it shows that we were already doing these things, but now that we have that accreditation, it gives you that reinforcement. And I think it puts children and parents at ease that we're going to be doing things safely and correctly on the water. But we've been operating here. I've been here since 2005, so I've been here for a long time. And then before that, I ran programs in Lake St. Clair.
Cool. I like that too. So you're well familiar with the area and the community and just the business overall. So I can't congratulate you enough as well, Mr. Ellison. So I want to ask, from a business perspective, I guess, how do you see this accreditation actually impacting the growth, the visibility, or even the partnerships of your business in the upcoming years?
So growth is a wonderful thing for us. We want to have more kids involved. We have the ability to almost double our daily rate of students just by bringing them in. We have enough equipment and we have enough coaches to house more children. So I think that one of the big barriers is cost, and we're going to work on that. So the more students we get involved, the lower we'll be able to bring costs down. And that way we can, expose ourselves to more of the community and get more kids involved from our other side. We also just expanded our program to Dodge State Park number 4 on Cass Lake. So we have a partnership with them, and our Learn to Sail daily camp is run from that site now. And it's a really nice way for us to be more of a part of the community and to be a little bit more inclusive in this area. Right. And the park has been absolutely amazing to work with.
Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of consideration to the community, and like you said, the different levels and of just socioeconomic status and just things in general when it comes to people who may have interested in joining your sailing school. And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, Executive Director for Community Sailing School in Orchard Lake, we have Eric Ellison just talking about being accredited, one of 45 in the country, but Michigan's first and only U.S. sailing accredited community sailing center, which we love as well. Now, I want to talk about, we just spoke about community. Can you tell us a little bit more about the philosophy behind your community-focused approach to sailing?
Yeah, so we're all a family here. So during the off seasons, the summer we run the summer camp and a racing program for advanced sailors. But in the fall and the spring, we have 16 different high schools and middle schools that work with us in the area. And we run one of the most robust high school and middle school sailing programs in the area. So even our schools here like West Bloomfield and Seaholm and Detroit Country Day and all these other schools that are in our area and Troy are all a part of our programs now. And we have over 65 kids that participate with that in the fall and spring seasons. So that they're really like a community, and that's where community sailing kind of came from, because they operate together as many different schools, but when they're here, they're one big family, and they're all together working together. And our mission statement is to develop character through sailing education.
Yeah, bring them all together from different parts of the area and just make them all one community, one sailing community. That's essentially what they all have in common at the end of the day. Can you just give a brief overview of some of the classes or programs that's available and what you want the people or the kids to take away from those classes?
Sure. So we have a half-day summer program, which is 9 to noon in the morning. So if you've got other things like tennis or golf or football or any other sports that you do in the afternoons, we can accommodate you for the mornings. And that's 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays, on a weekly basis. We have a weekly full-day program, which is from 9 to 3:30. And then we have a 2-week program, which is 2 consecutive weeks during the summer. We run until August 22nd, and this year we started June 9th. So we had 11 weeks available for sailing. And we'll see over 300 kids this summer between our Learn to Sail, which is what we just talked about, and our racing program. So an advanced sailor will join our racing program, and they're here for the entire summer. And they're here from June 9th to August 15th to practice and travel to different events and race in the Detroit area.
Ooh, that seems so fun. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds so fun. You're talking about racing and sailing on a boat. That sounds like a great time to enjoy your summer as well. Now, one thing we have to highlight this, Eric, before we go. Safety. We're on the water. A lot of parents. We're talking about kids as well. How do your youth programs incorporate safety and confidence building, especially for beginners?
So they're 100% of the time that they're near water or on the water, we're wearing life jackets, and that's staff and our students included. Life jackets have to be fitted properly, zipped up and buckled, and same for coaches. And this is something that's part of that U.S. sailing standard is making sure that these things are done. We perform a swim check, so we're looking for familiarity in the water, and not to be anxious when we go in the water. So we start at a shallow depth and work our way into deeper water, And then with our life jackets, we're practicing swimming. We teach them how to flip the boats over and how to get the boats back upright.
Okay.
And teach them that the boat is not going to sink. The boat can fill with water and it's still okay. So those are the things that we do on day one. Like yesterday was the first day of our 1 week session. And before noon, they had all done all those things just to get familiar with water and know about safety. And then our power boats all have the proper safety gear, and my coaches are all trained, boater safety, but also with U.S. Sailing. Our level 1 training is a certification that coaches get to make sure they're doing things safely and correctly. But also I've been doing this for 28 years, so we're very lucky and blessed to have such a great track record. And I think if you just slow down and you do things safely and you keep kids in a happy mode and listen and watch, then you can run a very safe program.
I was just about to say, listen to the experts as well, the ones that know what they're doing, and do exactly what they ask you to do. Hey, we appreciate you so much. Anything else you want to tell to our audience, to the community, about your classes or the school, or just anything that they should know?
Sure. So the first thing I'd say is that you can visit us at communitysailingschool.org, and that is a great way to link up and see what our programs are about. There's a racing page, a foundation page, and a summer page, and those will all lead you to the different avenues that we do. And then we just successfully ran a really cool camp, which was a autism camp. So we had 20 kids from the area that came here with autism experts and got to go sailing. And 10 of those 20 kids actually stood on a dock for the first time and got on a boat for the first time last week. So that was a really special program that we were able to run in conjunction with Spectrum Sailing out of South Carolina.
That's what's up, man. I love to hear that. Continue to do the good work. We appreciate that again. And congratulations on your accreditation. Once again, Executive Director from Community Sailing School out of Orchard Lake, Eric Ellison. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Such a great school that's located right in Orchard Lake, offering fun and engaging classes for so many people. And it's amazing to hear of all of the accomplishments that they have had recently. So we really appreciate Eric for joining us here on the Splash Live to tell us all about them. A fun event is coming up for book lovers and romance lovers. Schuler Books in West Bloomfield is going to be having their bookstore romance book swap that's going to be taking place on Saturday, August 9th. A chance for readers of all ages to stop by and to share their favorite romance novels and to swap them with other people in the community to form those ever important connections and maybe form a love connection along the way. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But just recently on The Splash, the marketing coordinator for Schuler Books, Elizabeth Boscher, joined us to tell us all about this event and what it's going to offer for the community. Elizabeth, great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Really curious in hearing about this event that's coming up with Schuler Books. What inspired Schuler to participate in Bookstore Romance Day this year with a community book swap?
Yeah, Bookstore Romance Day is a event that is celebrated at indie bookstores across the country. And it's a celebration of the genre of romance. We know there's a lot of romance readers out there, and especially in recent years, that genre has become more celebrated, and we love that. And so this year we are celebrating in West Bloomfield by organizing this reader meetup, and we hope that if you join us, you can meet some fellow romance reader lovers and go home with a few new books, play some fun games, and just have a good time together in community.
Awesome. Sounds like a really fun day for everyone that's a fan of romance novels and books. How do events like this, how would you say they help foster a sense of community among readers, especially within niche genres like romance?
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like reading is a solo activity, and it is in some extent, but we're here to encourage you that whatever you love to read, there's somebody else out there that also loves to read that, and someone that would love to talk to you about it. And so it's a great way for people to find new connections, find new friendships, have a common point of connection that's easy to talk about, that might blossom a friendship into something deeper and more than that. But talking about the books you love is an easy inroad. And we love also having our stores be places of these meetups and places where friends can come and hang out and find new community.
That's absolutely right. And it's always great to have an event catered around a common interest to really help getting people to start talking. Are there any specific titles or subgenres of romance you're hoping to see make an appearance during the swap?
Yeah, we're celebrating all kinds of romance. There's quite the variety in the romance genre. Kind of the one hallmark of the romance genre is you always end with a happily ever after. But within romance, we have contemporary romance, historical romance, LGBTQ romance, dark romance, fantasy romance. There's so many different subgenres, and we're here to celebrate them all. And so our swap is going to be that you can bring 2 to 4 books that you own, that you're ready to part with, and you get to go home with 2 to 4 books that someone else brought, and hopefully maybe find a new subgenre or just a new book to love.
That's right. Find some new interests, and with plenty of great romance genres, I'm sure that there's going to be something for everybody at this event. And how does this event align with Schuler Books' broader mission or approach to community engagement?
Yeah. Our broader mission is connecting people with books, and then our submission is connecting people with people through books. And so this accomplishes both of those things. And so we just are always looking for opportunities to connect people.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the marketing coordinator for Schuler Books, Elizabeth Boscher, telling us all about Bookstore Romance Day book swap that's going to be taking place at the West Bloomfield location for Schuler Books on August 9th. Now, Elizabeth, for someone who may be new to romance novels or even book swaps in general, what advice would you give?
Yeah, I think if you're new to the romance genre, I was new to the romance genre a couple years ago, and I found it really helpful to talk to one of my coworkers who really loved the romance genre, and she was able to guide me into a few books that were good for me. And that helped open my eyes and open the doors to this whole new genre that I now love to read. And so if you are like curious but not sure where to start, this is a great opportunity to come and get some advice, get some professional guidance towards a book that you're going to love. Or if you've been reading romance for a long time and you're just looking for something new, or again, some friends to connect with, some new friends, a new community, this is also a great opportunity to find that.
That's great. A lot greater opportunities for everyone beyond just the love of reading. I love to hear it. Now, Elizabeth, it sounds like this event has been going on for a few years now. Are there plans to grow it into maybe a larger celebration in the future?
Yeah, so this is Bookstore Romance Day as a concept is something that we didn't come up with. Another group of people came up with, and it is celebrated across the country at indie bookstores. And so we choose to celebrate slightly differently every year. And so we're always going to plan to do something, and it just might look a little different from year to year, but we're really excited about our plans for this year.
Well, you should be very excited, and I can't wait to hear all the great stories from this incredible event. I got one more question before we wrap things up, Elizabeth. Out of everything, what are you personally most excited about for this year's Bookstore Romance Day event in West Bloomfield?
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is a new idea for us, the Reader Meetup and Book Swap, and I'm really excited to kind of see it come to fruition and just hear those conversations between fellow book lovers. I love to see new friendships form and new connections being made. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Lots of great friendships, connections, and maybe something more. Who knows? But can't wait to see what's to come. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us today here in the Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.
Sounds like a fun day over at Schuler Books. Once again, that event is taking place on August 9th for the entire community at Schuler Books in West Bloomfield. All throughout the community, everyone is enjoying themselves this summer, but while they're wanting to have fun this summer, it's important that everybody stays safe, especially when out on the water. And Goldfish Swim School in West Bloomfield is offering incredible resources to help make the kiddos up to date and safe when they're in the water, including just recently taking part in the world's largest swim lesson with so many other swim schools from all across the United States. I was recently at Goldfish Swim School to hear what they had to say about the importance of water safety, especially throughout the summer.
It is the world's largest swim lesson. It's just bringing awareness to drowning prevention and taking that first initial step to saying you're going to be a safer swimmer by taking this lesson. So what we're going to have today is this hour of open swim where the kids get to have fun in the water, participate in it, and then afterwards we're going to do a water safety presentation, not just for the kids but also for the parents on how to practice water safety at home.
I think it's absolutely important for all the young children to learn how to swim. We live in Michigan. There's a lot of lakes around here, and it's important to know how to swim.
How cool is it for a place like Goldfish to be involved in something like the world's largest swim lesson?
That's a pretty amazing effort that they're putting forth to get people out and aware of water safety. Even if they can swim just a little bit, it's helpful, but I would always suggest a life jacket for younger children anyways.
What would you say were some of the most important lessons that were taught at this class today?
Probably it was nice at the end that they explored like how to do the water safety, try to help others if they're in need, because we've never really talked about it, so it's nice to know like to throw something for help and stuff like that, yeah.
You kind of see every day different stories of stuff happening around the water, and I kind of do as much as I can to prevent that, as well as everyone else here. We really strive to keep everyone safe, not only here, not only with their at-home school, not only it's kind of like rivers, lakes, anything around that, just kind of around the world. Really just bring awareness as much as possible to people just so they can be safe in and around the water.
What do you hope are some of the biggest things everyone takes away from here today?
I hope everybody takes away a much better understanding of the water safety that's needed and how to protect your children in the lakes and rivers of the area.
I think the most important thing that if I can tell them is swim lessons save lives. By taking swim lessons, you stop that prevention of drowning up to 80%. So it is just such a big number. That's a big jump. 80% is such a big number to know that, like just knowing that we're going to prevent that drowning.
Our biggest thing is water safety. Our number one priority is water safety. So not only just as being a Goldfish thing, but being a nationwide thing of people at home doing this, different swim schools of really pushing that water safety. We have our whole month dedicated to water safety, so I love that we can put an extra day worldwide to have people put first water safety.
All important tips for water safety that you can find right at Goldfish Swim School. That's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the team for helping to make this show possible. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.